Good afternoon. This is a code enforcement hearing for the City of North Miami. Today is October 16th, 2019, and I am Beatrice Kezo, Special Magistrate for the city. The purpose of this city is to determine if a code violation exists at your property, as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of the city. If the city is not able to prove its case, then I will dismiss the case and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded, therefore all persons who are speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that all testimony is clearly audible on the recording device. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. We have a translator who will assist you during the proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, and any witness that you may have should come forward to the podium on the left side of the room. When asked, please speak directly into the microphone and say aloud your name, your business address or mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware of and understand the violation that is being heard today. And do you understand what is required to resolve the violation? Please answer accordingly. The city will present its case first, and then the property owner and or violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf, to bring forward witnesses to testify, to present evidence and photographs, and to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement date for the violation to be resolved. Or, for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new, non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation, and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table this case proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact and or ruling, then the property owner may appeal the administrative order on the case to the circuit court. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the administrative order to be appealed. In accordance with Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by the special magistrate with respect to any matter considered at these proceedings, then the person will need a verbatim record of the proceeding. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the verbatim record shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant, and it is recommended that a person who plans to appeal their case should provide their own court reporter at this proceedings. Pursuant to city codes, if the City of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. If you are present and will be given testimony on a case, please stand and raise your right hand so the officer could administer the oath.
You're going to be speaking on a case. I have to swear you in. Please stand up. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. Well, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say aloud, I do. I do. Everyone, please stand up for the pledge of allegiance. Face the flag pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translation which you are about to give in these proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge, skills, and ability? I do. Thank you.
Please announce for the record if there are any additions, deletions, or amendment to the hearing agenda.
Three Horizons East Condo, case number CEFAW 2019-00147 has been complied. Teresa Lewing, case number CESRR 2019-00036 has also been complied.
If you're here and your case is complied, you may leave. All right, you may call your first case. Oh, we
First-
had more ticket appeal?
We don't.
Oh, okay.
The first case, Stembridge Real Estate, case number MHVIO 2019-00084, Officer Gary Beswick.
Good afternoon, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Jean Robert Valsaint. I am the renter from that space.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. Property was cited for the violation on February 27, 2019. Upon receive a phone call from the zoning manager Derek Cook and Detective W. Belmore from the North Miami Police Department about the possibility of unsafe. The building is being unsafe, so I went up there, and in my opinion, there were some things that look unsafe. So I called the building official, Stephen Pizzolo, to get his blessing, which he stopped by and agreed that there was a lot of items made the place unsafe. I'm going to show a display of pictures of what we observed. On the pictures that you're looking at, basically is showing of the flooring, the ceiling, there's doors, toilet being loose. Electrical wires actually was coming from some of the ceiling area. There's handrails by the stairway that are loose. And then we place an unsafe placard on the doors. And as of this morning, there's no permits have been obtained to make all the necessary repairs to make the place safe.
The ceiling, the flooring, bathrooms, exposed electrical wiring. Okay. All right. Sir?
Yes,
All right. Do you understand the violation?
I understand each every one of them. And until last week, I spoke with Mr. Gary that he informed we're supposed to have a contractor to come over and pull permits. So that's what I'm here. So we acquire one. But we had permits since 2013 to fix all of this. Then these tiles that is cracked here, that are replaceable. I already replaced it, this little piece, and the wire that he saw is not an electric wire. It's just
Is this a commercial property?
Yes,
yes.
Okay.
it's a school up there.
It's a school
Yeah, with kids, yeah.
with kids?
Yes.
All right, sir. You said you've had open permits since 2013?
2013.
The permit he's referring to was an old permit which they get to turn the place into what it currently is, which was final and closed. Well, the current condition now is something new. Have nothing to do with 2013.
I was about to say, if you've had an open permit since 2013, then the work is not done. Based on the photographs that Mr. Beswick is showing us, we're seeing
Yeah,
the ceiling. Is the tile is cracked or?
Yeah, the drop ceiling basically is damaged, and
Okay.
then you have
The
the wires.
doors,
Doors is damaged.
the bathroom.
The toilet is actually loose. It's not bolted down to the ground.
Okay, I was about to ask you, what am I looking at? Okay.
Right.
And what are these on the floor? Are these tiles?
Which
That's
one?
picture number. Pull up the photograph so that
Those are
we.
cubicles, basically. Like
Oh,
a
these are-
company, yeah.
Got it.
cubicles, yeah.
Okay, so these are on the floor.
The second floor.
The classrooms are in disarray.
Yes.
And is that a handrail
Yes.
that's going down the staircase?
That's correct.
Okay. That's definitely a hazard for your students. There's a dark room. I don't know what we're supposed to be looking at in there.
Which?
And then with all the boxes. Which one has the electrical wires? I can't find that one.
That's the one in the page number.
I don't see the one with electrical wires. But you saw exposed electrical wires
Yes.
are exposed as well?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
That's the alarms, the alarm company that.
The dark picture that you're referring to is actually an electrical fixture that coming apart. It's loose.
Which one is that?
It's this one. I don't know if it's showing on there.
Okay. All right. So at this point right now, the school is not operating.
I haven't been back there. I'm assuming it's probably still is. You can ask them.
Sir, do you?
We fix every single major problem we've heard, which is the door, the bathrooms, the stairwells that you hold to go downstairs. Everything fixed back in place. But when I went to him last week,
All those items are required permits so you can get an inspection.
right, so that's why now he told me I required a contractor, but he did not. I've been coming several times since February to the office for me to talk to him. Unfortunately, I was never able to get hold of him until last week. He said, yes, you have to have a contractor. So I acquired a contractor. Now he's coming to the city tomorrow.
Just for clarification, Your Honor, when the violation went to the property owner. The property owner is well aware of it because I spoke to a representative from the property owner a few months back. So they're aware of it. When we started the property owner. So at the time, during our investigation, he wasn't there. His staff was there, the kids was there. When I opened the violation, I sent it to the property owner. So the property owner was fully aware
Correct.
of the violation.
Okay. All right.
So,
Do you understand, sir? You said you're the tenant, correct?
right.
Okay. So they noticed the owners.
So until I know it until last week that he said he sent them to the
Property owner.
property owner. So I supposed to have a copy. Only one piece of paper he put on the door. That's all I had. So I fixed what required to fix.
Okay.
But I didn't know.
But you
it.
didn't pull a permit. You
Now
didn't have-
he said that I required to have a contractor, and I pulled one.
Okay.
So he's coming and pulling the application for me to get this thing done proper as we required.
All right.
Oh, we're seeking adjudication at this point.
All right. Sir, I do find that the violation does exist. At this point, it still exists. And I do find in favor of the city. I will enter an adjudication You have until November 13th to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount, because there are students involved, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
of $1,000.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay?
thank you.
All right.
Pedro Sinset, case number CEI VY 2019-00139. The officer is Karen Jean Lewis.
Good afternoon, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Good afternoon, Pedro Sensat, owner.
Good afternoon, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 12831 West Dixie Highway was cited in reference to an inoperable van that's in the rear that had flat tires. The property owner was advised to inflate the tires or remove the vehicle completely before the reinspection. And as of the final reinspection, the vehicle remained on the property. I did make contact with the property owner's wife, who said she was going to try to have it removed, but it wasn't removed before the final reinspection date.
Okay. Where was it?
Do you see the picture? And it wasn't until the reinspection date when I realized that the vehicle doesn't even have like an engine.
It was stolen.
The engine was stolen?
Okay.
Let me pull up another picture.
All right. Sir, do you understand the violation?
Yes, that vehicle has already been moved. I have pictures as well to show.
Okay, show it to the officer.
Sure.
The property owner provided photos showing the vehicle being towed away from the property. The vehicle's no longer there as of 11/11 this morning.
Okay, so, but we still have the cost, right?
Yes.
Assessment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the, we're dismissing it with the,
With cost.
with costs. Okay, all right, sir. Thank you.
NMB Partners LLC, MHVIO 2019-00122. The officer is Gary Beswick.
Good
Sorry.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Good afternoon. Anthony Ortiz on behalf of NMB Partners, GM of Operations.
Okay, so I will start with the first one.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the city of North Miami. This one. This property was cited back March 11, 2019 for failure to obtain all required permit prior to do interior and exterior alteration of the property. When I checked it this morning, the permits filed this morning, the permit was applied for, but it wasn't issued as of this morning when I checked the records this morning. Property management was notified for the hearing on September 24th, 2019 at 10:29 a.m. Affidavit of service is on file. Yes, that's when the violation was open. It was open back in March. And let me show you what was going on the property. This is a picture that I took when the work was going on at the time without a required permit. It's a small office. These are some warehouses, and each bay have an office. So this one of the office that it was doing some repair, which required permits.
So sorry, I don't know what's going on. I keep turning the mic off.
You can do both. The next one is for AC units, which at the same time they applied for the permits, but when I checked it this morning, it wasn't approved our issue when I checked it this morning.
Okay. Same office?
Same owner, different space. Let me pull it up. These are split unit, AC unit that was installed without first obtaining required permits.
I'm still seeing myself on the screen.
And for this one, this violation was opened back on the 22nd of March 2019 from a complaint from our mechanical inspector. That's who observed it and called me, and I went over there and verified that it was installed without required permits. As I stated, they did apply for the permits, but as of this morning, it was not issued, so we're seeking adjudication on both.
Okay, I'm seeing the photos on my screen here for the 3 AC. Do you want to pull it up for the gentleman to be able to see it as well?
Right there.
Right there. Okay. All right. Sir, do you understand the violation?
I do.
All right. And he has applied, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, the permit has been issued. I have it here in my possession for the 3 AC units. Here it is. Fees have been paid and everything. For the first one regarding the build out, just a little background, we just bought the property, so we inherited this issue with this build out. When Inspector Bestwick came in, they were in the process of spackling and getting ready to paint. So in fact, there was no construction going on. It was just that. But nevertheless, we understand we inherited the problem. It's ours now. So we did apply, and the city actually approved part of the permit. The reason that it hasn't been issued yet is because they're requiring that the Miami-Dade Fire Department conduct an inspection prior to. So our plans were submitted, signed and sealed by an engineer, as well as a letter certifying all the drywall in the property. So we're just at the point of getting the fire department to come out and conduct an inspection of the life safety items.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
What is the city seeking?
I'm still seeking adjudication on both the permit. What he's showing, he probably got it this morning or after I left the office. So I still need something because the work was done, I said, back in March, I think. So I still need adjudication. Then I'll go ahead and close it.
All right. As for MHVIO 2019000122, I do find in favor of the city enter an adjudication based on the evidence presented. From my understanding, you said you have applied for the permit, and you said it was partially,
Approved. I have the paperwork here.
and then you're waiting for fire.
Right. They
Department.
referred us to the fire department and said, you need to get them to come out
Okay.
and do a life safety inspection, and then we'll go ahead and do the, conduct their inspections.
Okay. So basically, you're partially in compliance. The only reason why I'm entering a daily fine amount is because this has been ongoing since March. Well, actually, you said you just recently acquired the property?
At the time,
Yes, we just acquired.
at the time when the work was going on, they was the owner of the property. They did the work.
We just, no, excuse me, sir. You were not there. We bought the property, and the work that you witnessed was already there.
No.
We did not do any of that work, which was what I was trying to explain to you when I went to visit you at your office. I know you may disagree, and that's fine, but we did not do any of that work. What we were doing was spackling and painting drywall, not anything else, that's all. And that doesn't require a permit for painting and spackling. So that was my understanding of it, but, you know, you certainly have your point of view, and I respect it.
Your Honor, the picture that I have on display, that's not for painting.
If you look at the guys, what do they have in their hand? Spackling. They have spackling compound in their hand. Look at the
This
picture.
is a fresh
That's-
drywall. This is a ceiling with new rafters. That's not painted.
Those rafters would not new.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, your point of view, I understand, I respect it, but we did not do any of that work. We had just purchased the property at that point. I think we had been in the property less than a month when this happened.
Okay, so, I'm giving you, until November 13th to, bring the property into compliance.
Okay,
If not, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
it will be done, thank you.
As to MHVIO 2019-00142, you guys did obtain a permit. The permit was,
It was issued
approved.
today,
It was
yes.
issued.
Yes, approved and issued, yes.
Okay, so are we dismissing this one with
I
costs?
still need adjudication on it. The permit
Okay.
was probably issued this morning, but it wasn't issued this morning before I left the office.
All right, so I will enter an
Yeah,
adjudication
you can certainly
plus
take a look at
costs.
it if you want.
Just costs on that one, clerk.
So what's the date on that one, ma'am?
Just costs. Well, you're already in compliance. The permit was approved on that one. Okay. Correct. With an adjudication of costs. He's seeking an adjudication because it was from March. But I'm not entering a future, time because he's already in compliance. It's just an adjudication plus costs. Yeah. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck
Thank
to
you,
you.
have a good afternoon.
You too.
Mariana Pereira Ruiz, case number MHVIO 2019-00047. Officer is Gary Beswick. She
Good
also has two
afternoon.
cases.
Oh, two cases? Good afternoon. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
My name is Mariana Pereira Ruiz, and I'm the owner of the property 12550 Biscayne Boulevard.
Thank you. Will he be speaking?
Yeah, he's my contractor.
Okay, sir, can you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Juan Davila. I'm a general contractor.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. This property was first cited on February 13, 2019 for failure to obtain a required permit prior to install a sink and a wall opening for a sliding door, which was constructed without permit. And as of today, the permit has not been obtained as yet. The property was posted for notice to appear on Wednesday, September 25th at 11:25 a.m. Affidavit of service is on file. And this is inside of the unit. This page is the history of the property, which do not have any permit.
All right. All right. We're gonna tackle this one, two at a time, or just?
Yeah, I can do two at a time. I'm going to the next one. And then basically, on the second one, basically, it was cited February 13, 2019 for renovation of partition wall to combine unit 204 and 205 into one unit without a required permit. So they're trying to combine two separate units into one without required permits.
And again, this is a commercial property?
Yes, it's 12550 Biscayne Boulevard. Permit was applied for, but not being issued as yet.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Do you understand the violation? Okay, what process are we in now? And I know you have your general contractor, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon. So just to let you know, I am not the one who did the job for her. I've been
Okay.
called after she got a notice from the city to put everything in order. I started the process, but it was not simple because what happened is when we submitted everything for fire in Durham, they required a full plan for fire and safety for the
Mhm.
entire floor. And that building has been too old. They don't have anything in the records. And then when we call the engineers, they say this is not up to code, so we'll not pass it. Suddenly at that time, I have several times being admitted in the hospital until I got surgery. So I just step away of this. So I came last week. Of course, she contacted me to get an extension. So we talked. We decided the best way now is to put everything the way it was before. So I talked to Mr. Gary past Friday to letting him know that we agreed just to put everything the way it was before because there are 3 different titles and it will be very hard to put them together. So we're just gonna set it up the wall the way it was and remove the door and remove the vanity that was installed. That wasn't installed by me. There was other companies that you hired prior. So that's what we wanted to do. We have all the permits. He told me to do as a revision. So that will be the easier way just to put everything back without making any changes, you know. So I made a letter last week to Mr. Gary to ask for extension at least for 30 days so we can comply with everything and put everything the way it is.
Go ahead.
What we're seeking is adjudication with 30 days to abate.
Okay. So did you hire a contractor to do the work prior?
I contract the Roto Routers, the company, but they don't apply for anything.
I'm sorry?
apparently. I contract the Roto Routers as a company, but apparently they don't
So
apply
they
for
just
anything.
started cutting through the walls and putting up sink
Yes.
and doors and
And
without
apparently
pulling a
they
permit?
they told me that they did, but
They didn't? What type of business is it?
it's a studio. It's like a beauty studio. I do eyebrows.
Okay. Yes, sir?
Yes, just I wanted to mention when she hired Roto Routers, that was in consideration they have to pull permits. So they charge a lot amount of money. They did the job, but they didn't pull permits. So when we went back to Roto Routers, they say they fired the guy who did the job, and they's kind of subcontractor for Roto Routers, so they are not liable to process any permits. So now, you know, we have to open all the ceilings from the bottom to see what was installed. And in the bottom, they have medical offices. So we have to move all the patients back and forth. And, you know, there's no way that we can ask for re-inspection on that because it's a medical office. You have people in the wheelchair, so, you know, it's no way. So we're ready just to cut it off and just put everything back again the way it was.
All right. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication on both cases. Property owners have until, I don't know that they're gonna have this done, but within a month. I think that I'll give them until December 11th. I'll give you until December 11th, sir, to get it done. If the work is not done by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500. Any questions?
That's it.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Both, each. You got it?
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't? I just did? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you didn't call the second case, even though we heard it, but it wasn't called. Just 1 second.
Mariana Ruiz, case number MHVIO 2019-00048.
Okay, and just for the record, the property owner is present, and I just ruled I ruled on both cases. I enter an adjudication, find in favor of the city, and owner has until December 11th by which to resolve the violation. If violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500. All right, thank you.
Louis Beta, case number
We
RCCO.
can table this one for 2 months.
Okay. All right, sir. Good. Is it? Are you on Beta
This is
or is it BD?
I the new owner.
You're the new owner.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
afternoon. My name is Santos Reyes. I'm the owner of the property 555.
Northwest 127th
Northwest,
Street.
127th
I can see you're
Street.
the new owner because you don't know your full address yet.
My name's Kieran Lashman. I work for the engineers that he hired to correct the issues or not correct, but essentially provide plans for permitting.
Okay.
So he can correct the violations.
Okay, so the code enforcement officer agrees to give you guys, an extension for 2 months.
Okay.
Okay, so trying to get it done within that time frame.
Sure. We actually have the plans in the city for permitting. I believe you can see that. We just need to respond to the comments. There are a couple things I think that are already in the plans. We just need to meet with one of the plan reviewers to go over it. I think the answers that they were looking for are there, and maybe they just weren't seen. But we just need to get the permit, which I would assume we'd have at the latest by next week for the building to start getting re-inspected.
Okay, that's great. Well, good luck to you guys. If there's anything, stay in touch with the officer and, give him an update as to where we are.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. All right.
Lau, case number MHVIO 2019-00141. The officer is Gary Beswick.
Good
Good
morning. Good afternoon. Sorry.
I was about to say where.
Somewhere
Please
where-
state your full name and relationship to the property.
Lance Law, co-owner partner.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. Property was first sized on March 22nd, 2019 for failure to obtain required permits for installation of windows. As of this morning, the permit has not been obtained. Property was posted on the 24th of September 2019 at 9:49 a.m. And these are the windows that was installed without required permits.
These are all throughout the house?
Huh?
Seems like it's all
Yes,
throughout the house.
yes, all the way around the house. That's correct.
Okay. Is it Law?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand the violation, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where are we on the, did you
About-
say they applied?
No, no.
I didn't apply
No.
yet. I actually transferred the property into a company, so I was not able to pull a permit as a homeowner. So I was working with a contractor to have him pull the permits for me. I received this on like September 25th. I wasn't aware that this was from March. So at the same time, I have another property in violation that I was working on with an architect and contractor. So I was trying to take care of that one first before I got to this one. And that's where I stand right now. I just need some time to have the contractor give me all the paperwork so I can pull the permits.
Okay. March, and you said this was, this?
For windows, since March. Just seek adjudication with an abatement date.
All right. Based on the testimony presented, I do find that the violation exists. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Sir, you said you're currently working on another property that's also?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have any objection to December 11th?
No.
All right.
It'll be done.
So I'm giving you till December 11th to get it done. If it's not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Okay, $500.
Okay? Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New Venture Properties LLC, case number RCCOR 2018-0012.
Oh, that's you.
Good afternoon. It's me again.
Officer is Gary Beswick.
All right, please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Lance Law, partner, co-owner.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. Property was first cited April 26, 2018 to failure to obtain an approved reoccupancy certificate prior to closing the last year, and it was tabled, so seeking adjudication with an abatement date.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. I obtained permits for building, plumbing, and electrical. I submitted the permits, they were kicked back. It took a while for them to get kicked back. And at the time, I was aware that I needed to do like a drawing. So, you know, I did my own drawing, but they wanted a sign and seal plans. So I'm in the process right now with my engineer. I have a preliminary drawing for the electrical riser and all that stuff. So, you know, my engineer, he has certain medical issues, so it's taking him a little longer. But he did send this to me this morning. And all I need is for him to finish it so that I can, I guess, resubmit the plans and wait for the approval.
Okay.
I still need an adjudication, and you can give him the same December.
Okay. So we can let the two
Yes.
cases run together?
Yes, because the permits have been applied for with the contractor and all that stuff. I'm just waiting for the plans.
All right. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until December 11th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there'll be a daily fine amount of $250.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
$250.
Odell Jean Baptiste, case number CEIVY 2019-00143. This is the first case of two.
Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Yes, I'm the owner.
Okay. Say your name again for the record.
Odell Jean Baptiste.
Okay. Ma'am?
Vanessa Jean Baptiste, I'm the daughter.
Okay. Mr. Adil, do you need a translator? L'interprète? Okay.
Good afternoon, Code Officer St. Louis, sorry. This violation is two violations. The first one is in regards to inoperable vehicles.
Yeah, let's take it one by one, because
Okay.
I got confused, I messed it up last time.
All right, AOS was posted on September 27th at approximately 11:30. Now, I did make communication with the property owner and the daughter. They are going to go ahead and buy car covers for the cars that are further in the rear on the side of the property. Now, as far as for the cars that are in the front of the property, on the grass side on the corner, they are going to get those removed.
Let's pull up some from pictures.
pictures?
How many inoperable vehicles is it? Are we talking about?
So, I mean, the first car, which is the silver one, that one, I could say that it's operable because it moves. Now, as far as for the remaining three, I don't know. But I do know with the last two, being that it's past the property, they allowed the cars to be there. So with those, he's going to go ahead and purchase car covers. Now, as far as for this one, he do plan on getting it removed. And maybe later in the future, probably put gravel on the side so that way they could park there.
Okay. So the two further back, those two are okay. There's no violation against these two vehicles,
No, it's
right?
the ones in the front.
So is these two in the front? Sir, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You see the violation? Okay. So we're gonna take care of the two in the front.
Yeah, because what they're asking for is just time to get it removed and so forth on. So I'm okay with giving them time.
Okay. And All right, so if I were to give him December 11th, that's fine?
That's fine.
Okay, so, sir, I find in favor of the city. I see that the violation does exist. I'm giving you until December 11th to take care of the two vehicles, as you discussed with the, officer, okay? But if they're not moved or covered, do they have to be moved, or?
Well, the front two would have to be removed. And
Okay.
in the back, he's
Need
planning
to
on
be
getting there.
covered.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
so let's be clear. The two cars in the back have to be covered. They have to be covered up, right? The two in the front have to be removed. Okay? So I'm giving you until December 11th to get it done. If it's not done by the 11th and the case come back before me on the 18th, unless there's a perfect, great reason as to why it hasn't been done, then you are going to have a fine, a daily fine of $150. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, as far as for the second one, postage was not posted. Oh, go ahead.
Odo Jean Baptiste, case number CEPFY 2019-00223. The officer is Edme St. Louis.
Sir, state your name again for the record.
Odell Jean-Baptiste, O-D-Y-L.
Odile. Odile? Okay. Jean Baptiste.
Notice to appear was posted on the property on September 27th at 11:30 a.m. And as far as for the final recheck picture, this one was for parking on the grass as well, but it's in the front because there's no pavements where the cars park.
Well, there's a partial.
It's a partial. It's a walkway.
Technical. We can. There's a partial.
Yeah. Well, I actually received that complaint on my NOMI, so I had to address it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mr. Odile,
Yes.
do you understand the violation of this one?
Yes.
Okay. And did you have was your driveway extended at one point? It seems like you have a couple of what are these, like, how do you call them?
The
Pavements? What is it?
Yeah.
Was it paved? Was it all paved at one point?
Yes.
Can
Okay.
I?
Yes, go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay, so they're old, but they were all paved, and then they just kind of rised, or over the years we've gotten rid of them because they crack and break.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole section, yes, it had a pavement, and then half of it is gone. So, but we still park there. We've always parked there.
Mm-hmm.
So what we discussed with the officer was that if we put some type of gravel or something just to make it like a clear indication that we can still park there without any grass being, then we will get that done.
Okay. All right, good.
So
Okay, so
Time.
you want the two cases to run together? I
sure.
give them December 11th.
I'm okay with
Okay.
that.
All right. Mr. Odile? Okay. So December 11th, you think you're gonna be able to get that done by December 11th?
Yes.
Okay. Stay in contact with the code enforcement officer. Okay? All right. So again, I enter an adjudication, find in favor of the city. I find that the violation does exist. Property owner has until December 11th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $200. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
MJ LaFrance, a Brave ET-ALS, case number CEGMP 2019-00106. The officer is Wayne Clark.
MJ LaFrance. Okay.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This property was cited for the rear awning roof overhang that's rotted, falling apart. Give me a second here, what I got. I have not talked to the owner. I have talked to a tenant, as a matter of fact, on yesterday, and she asked me what I was doing, and I told her I was taking pictures. Hold on, where am I at here? Okay, we got the full page. Can y'all see that?
No?
No.
Okay.
Wait. Let me, I thought I touched it. I'm sorry, my finger's so big. I'm trying to touch the right tab here. There we go. Yeah, the property was posted with good notice on September 25th, 2019 at the front door with a notice to appear for this hearing. I like to show the photos for the record of the violation itself. Sorry, it's not in order, I don't think. But here, yeah, you can see it. Here is the rear of the property. I'm gonna stroll down to pic 2, which shows the whole full scope of the roof overhang I'm talking about there.
Yes.
And you can see a close shot here with photo number 1 from the west side. What else? And here's a closer shot of that area. I don't know what that is. It looks.
These can't be wires, right?
Huh?
These are not wires. These are not electrical wires.
Unbelievable. I just saw them myself. That's what it looks like. Looked like they tried to do a handyman repair there. Handyman repair. You don't see it's the looks like the wires are trying to hold the aluminum to the rotted wood, or it might have been there before it got to that point. And I don't know why they have rocks and bricks on top of the roof, which ain't gonna make it no better. Okay, here's another angle, and the property's just in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
And nobody's responded to it. And I first opened up the violation. Let me see. This violation was opened up July of 2019. And to date, I haven't had no response from the owners or whoever's responsible for the property.
And did I just hear a fridge being stored on the porch?
Boy, you got some good eyes. I didn't see all that. Let me see
That's
what you
not
got.
before me. I just
Hold on,
noticed.
See what you got. Okay. What was that you say you see?
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, that's in the back. That's okay. That's okay. You know.
Oh, that's the back.
That's the back of the that's the back of the property.
okay.
The rear like porch on, and you could tell. To me,
Oh.
it seems like the original one, based upon the poles that's holding it up. It looks like it's pretty old.
All right. Based on and you said it was posted on September? What is it? September 20-something? That was
Excuse
the
me?
first one that you showed me, right? That it was posted for today's hearing. Let me just
September
notice that.
25th, 2019. I believe
Okay,
it
that's
was.
what I thought. All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city and turn adjudication. Property owners have until November 13th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, that will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Okay, thank you.
Marie Claude Richard. Case number MHVIO 2019-00144. Officer is Gary Beswick.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please state your
Hi.
full name and relationship to the
Marie
property.
Claude Richard and the owner of the property.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick from the City of North Miami Building Department. The property was first cited March 25th, 2019 for failure to obtain a required permit prior for interior renovation. I was in progress at the time. Here's a picture of the inside where the interior renovation was taking place at the time. As of today, this is the history of the property. There is no permit that has been obtained. Property was posted to notice to appear on September 25th, 2019 at 2:25 p.m. Affidavit of service is on file.
Sorry, I was taking a closer look at the pictures, but I had to look at it sideways because that's how you guys have it here. Okay. All right, ma'am, do you understand the violation?
I do, and he's correct. I was not living at the house in March when, I guess, I actually got the notice on when I talked to you, was it back in September? Was it in September?
Yeah, when I was posting the property.
Okay, when it was posted, that's when I did talk to Gary. I had to hire a architect, an engineer to do all this because my house was flooded with black mold and water, and I had to leave the house. And I just got back into the house about 3 weeks ago, and it's a building, and there's been a lot of problems. I have not been living in there until a couple weeks ago. I had to hire an architect, an engineer, because I thought the building was getting the, what do you call that? The permit, because it was their fault that the pipe,
mold?
the pipe broke and the house was destroyed totally. So I wasn't living in there. So I did talk to Gary. He's correct. I hired an architect, I hired an engineer, and a contractor to get all this stuff done for me. He did tell me I had to have this done before the 16th, but I had not been feeling very well, so I was not able to get this done on time. And this is what happened. I haven't been living in the house. I had to redo everything. The whole house had to be, and now I've been told that it's probably going to have to happen again because it wasn't done. They did not go out all the way for the pipe, because the bathroom was redone and the floors have been done. Everything has been done. I was just told 2 days ago that they're going to probably have to take out the whole floor again and the whole bathroom to go outside because it's going to be all done all over again. This is my problem.
And you said this is a building?
It's a building.
So you're on the bottom floor?
It's a condominium.
I'm on the first floor, yes.
Okay. So
It's
is that
like-
their cost or your cost?
They're giving me a very hard time. I'm gonna have to get an attorney to take care of this. It cost me a lot of money. They did fix quite a bit of stuff, but they did not go all the way to fix what needed to be done. So I'm back to square one. That I might have to stay out of the house and redo everything. They told that we had a plumber there yesterday. The water was backing up again. There was black mold throughout the whole apartment. That's the problem.
We're just seeking adjudication with an abatement date.
Mr. Beswick is like, just give me an adjudication.
Yeah, it's a violation.
Oh. Let me see. So this work that's being done, that was the interior, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, interior
Okay.
and outside too. They did work on the outside, but they got the permit for the outside, but they didn't get the permit for the inside.
But these are your people
No, that was the building's people.
doing the interior?
They hired them to do whatever the work that was done on the interior, but they're saying since it's happened already, they're not responsible for that.
I see. But this work that was being done at the time,
The building hired them.
but she's the property owner, that's her.
Yeah, yeah, sir, property, yeah. Mhm.
Ay, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. But you're gonna be pulling the permit for
I
this.
have to, because Gary told me that I'm the one that's responsible for that. And having all the architect and everything done. We just finished doing it, and it's gonna have to be breaking up again. That was sewage water that was in that apartment.
All right. Trying to phrase my ruling correctly. You said that the sewage water got inside your apartment.
It came from because I'm the last apartment downstairs, so everything comes into my apartment.
Okay.
And
Which caused black mold?
Because it took them about 3 weeks to get somebody out there to figure out what was going on, because the sewage water was coming in. It happened 6 times in the period of 3 weeks. Okay, every time I didn't know that it was sewage. We didn't know exactly where it was coming from.
And this is a condominium apartment, so your HOA hired a contractor
Correct.
to work in your apartment.
They hired several people to do the work.
Okay. And no one pulled a permit to do such a...
No permit has been obtained, and we don't have documentation of what she's saying anyway. She's the owner of that space, and the work was done inside of her space.
The work inside of my space was done, but the outside where they had to go through the sewage, they did pull a permit for that. They had a plumbing company pull a permit for that. So I thought that was being, everything was being done
I'm just trying to put on the record. You're telling me that the HOA, they're the ones who did the interior work inside the house?
Yes.
And what was replaced? What was done?
Oh, God, the bathroom had to be replaced, the tile in the bathroom, the walls, all the walls in the living room and the bedrooms, everything had to be redone. I have pictures. I could bring that, and show you what had to be done.
I want to table this case.
Why did the HOA hire these people to do the work if the condo owner is the person responsible for their space?
Because it was their fault.
Because it was their fault that her house was flooded and
so
got...
they were the ones that were supposed to get the permit?
Correct.
Now, does she have any documentation that they...
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Because what I'm thinking of doing, I'm not about to enter an adjudication against this woman. I want to table this case and have you come with your documents so that you can meet with the, can she meet with your office? Or does she need to meet with?
No, she needs to meet with them to show them that kind of proof, because if that's the case, then the HOA should get the violation and not her. Like, although she's responsible.
It's her space, and this is this condominium is like I have to cite a unit now almost every month.
I understand, but you do understand where we're getting at.
Yeah, I know the story.
Of no fault of her own, if I'm, I have no reason not to believe what she's telling me, is that, inside her apartment, since she's on the first floor, was flooded due to no reason of her doing it. And with sewage water and which eventually caused black mold because they took their sweet time to repair the damage that was done. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then they hired a contractor to make the necessary repairs, and the contractor never bothered to pull the proper permits to be able to do the work. Now, I'm having a hard time. Yes, I do understand that, the violation runs with the property and she is the, the rightful owner. But, the HOA is the one who hired this company to do the work. You would think that they know that these people need to pull permit
Well-
depending on the type of work they're gonna do on the property. And, if I find her, then she's going to start accumulating all this lien over something that she really had no control over. So I want her to have an opportunity to bring the proper documentation to show who did the work, who was responsible for it. If we have to find, the HOA, we can do that. But let's at least delve into it a little further, because I'm not comfortable, entering a finding against this woman.
Yeah, I
when-
understand where you come from, but I'm very familiar with the property, with what's going on in the property. So I heard what she said. It was a complaint that came in. It's not the first time a complaint came in. As I say, it's a property that's unpermitted work goes on that property almost every day. So there's a lot of
You're saying by the owners,
the
by
owners.
this owner, or you're
No,
talking about by the
owners.
HOA?
The owners, not HOA, different
Okay.
owners,
I
constant.
mean, it could very well be true, but what she's telling me is that, we can document it, because if she's not able to prove it,
Oh, I can prove it. I can prove it.
then I would rule against you for misrepresentation.
I can prove it. I have pictures. They also have checks that they paid.
Okay.
All these things. I
Alright.
have letters
So
that I sent to
gather
the
everything,
association.
and, bring him to Mr. Beswick.
Okay.
And whomever you need to meet with, so that we can see where we go from here. It's unfortunate that have been displaced from your
I
property.
might be displaced again.
And you might be displaced again, and they're doing the work, but it's not fair to the property
Okay,
owner.
go ahead and we're going to table it for 30 days.
We're gonna table it, okay? I'm giving you 30 days,
To get you the documents.
not me,
Oh,
Mr.
Gary?
Beswick.
Yes, we need a document that states that prove that the association is the one that
Did the work,
Did the
or
work.
authorized the work,
authorized the work.
Yeah, that
okay?
they prove. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Give him a second, he's the one on the next case as well.
Next case is Ongini, case number MHVIO 2019-00263. Officer is Gary Beswick.
Good
Sir,
afternoon.
please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Good afternoon. I'm Javier Ongini. I'm the owner of the property.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. Property was first sighted May 30th, 2019. The failure to obtain the required permits for the construction of the balcony and the rear of the property. As of today, we don't have a permit. Let me show you the pictures of what I'm referring to. This is the rear of the property. This is the balcony. You apply for the permit, but you haven't obtained it as yet. So we're seeking adjudication.
Okay, which one is it? Where am I looking at now?
You're looking at the pictures of the balcony. Address is 2043 Northeast 123rd Street.
Okay, and it's new?
Yes.
All right, sir, do you understand the violation?
I understand. I understand the violation. I spoke several times with Mr. Gary. I did obtain permits last year. They are expired. They expire actually on April 30th, more or less. I had my last inspection. I didn't pass the last inspection, and I did make a mistake on the repairs that I was doing. Due to those mistakes and due to the violation notice, I have been working and presenting plans and corrections. The work itself and the permits itself, I have from the very beginning tried to lower all the cost and do the repairs myself. and take advantage of the regulations of Florida State. I presented the plans several times over the last 6 months to the city, and at one point there was an issue, then there was another. I can dive into them if you like. Finally, I reached a resolution, last correction that I received back from the city. They requested me to get a new permit, that I could not extend the last year permit. And after I did that, they told me that the permit was requiring architect and mechanical. To be very, very honest with you, that happened about a month and a half ago, or a little bit more. I requested several quotes from different architects and mechanicals, and I was reaching prices way, way over what I was expecting to spend with the entire project. Luckily, a couple weeks ago, I found a new mechanical, an architectural. He agreed to do all the plans and everything. I already paid him, and he told me that my plans will be ready next week. Hopefully, everything will be up to what the city code and the city requires me to do, so that I can get the permit and finish the work. To be very honest with you, I'm the most interested person in getting out of this, to be honest. And if I am taking time, or if I need more time, it's due to because of my lack of knowledge, and at the same time, because there are too many people involved, and there's a lot of situations going on constantly. Like last year, I got the permits to change tile.
I was just going to say, for clarification, the permit that he's referring to was the tile.
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
That's not what he did.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
He is completely right with that. I started with the tile, and when I started doing the work, I thought that repairing or fixing the areas around the tile, which implied much more work than I expected, was contemplated. I made that mistake. As Mr. Gary informed me, I have been trying to correct that situation with the city, and I do have the different permits, not actual permits, I'm sorry, the reviews of the permits that I was trying to get over the last couple months. And I finally am working, paying the cost of my mistake with the lawyer, with the architect, so that I can finish and get the proper permits.
You know, sometimes that's the problem, is that if you had pulled a permit and do it correctly the first time, it wouldn't be costing you as much to fix it. Because now you have this balcony, it looks nice, but you keep failing the permit requirements. So it's an issue.
Yes, if I can clarify, if you don't mind. The issue in the beginning was that the permit that I got was incomplete. Basically, that's what I was told in the beginning. When I tried to correct it, they told me I was missing the rail rings. I bring the rail rings, and when they said, no, the rails are not the only thing, even the inspector that came to site to do the final inspection for last year permit, the one that I was trying to extend, they told me that the only thing that I needed was that. The problem is that once I got that done, it popped up that, no, there was a small distance or small space between the house and the balcony. And that space I subtracted. That's the biggest issue. So the city is asking me in the beginning, they told me that I needed to present plans with everything as is, with all the proper connotations, all the proper information, and that would suffice. But the city, not Mr. Gary, the city inspectors informed me that otherwise, that the only option that I have is to keep it as is, the way it was originally. I presented the plans the way the city required, with everything corrected, but at that time the city requested that I needed plans and architect to sign off the plans, and that happened about a month and a half ago, and I have been fighting until last week, week and a half ago, to get an architect to actually give me a good price to do the work, to be honest.
Okay, Your Honor, I was just seeking adjudication and give him a December abatement date.
Okay. He had some stuff that he needed to share. I listened. All right, sir. Based on the evidence presented, I do find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I will enter an adjudication. You think that he's gonna get it done by the 13th?
Well, he's been going at it for a while. I'm not sure how
He said
far
he
is it.
has a new architect, right?
Yes, I do, but also in theory, as far as my understanding, when I spoke to the city last time and they explained that basically what they needed, what an inspector in confidentiality told me is that they needed a signature, that they needed an architect to say, yes, this is correct. Because they weren't willing to approve it as is. With all the measurements that I got. Basically, they missing the.
Okay, to be safe, because it's a balcony, so it's more than an architect. It also required some structural aspect of it, so you can push it to January.
To January?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, sir. The officer says that we can reset it to January. So I am going to enter an adjudication. That means that I find that the violation exists. I find in favor of the city. Entering an adjudication, you have until January 8th to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the 8th, you are going to start accumulating a daily fine. Now, we're talking about a balcony, and I'm assuming there are people living in the house currently?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So there's a possible hazard if the city is not approving this balcony. So we are, I'm thinking a daily fine amount of $700. That's how serious it is, that I need you to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to get it resolved by that date. Stay in contact with the officer, but you're gonna have to do your best. I'm sorry, but that's the reason that we require that you get a permit and do it done right the first time.
I understand.
Okay? All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a good afternoon.
Bye.